The French-Eversole Feud, Kentucky's Deadliest War. It's May 8, 1898. Hazard, Kentucky. A mining town clinging to the steep walls of the Cumberland Mountains. Joseph C. Eversole, 47, a lawyer and the most powerful man in Perry County, steps onto the porch of the Eversole Hotel. He has 14 minutes left to live. Across town, hidden in shadows, attorney Benjamin Fulton French adjusts his grip on a Winchester rifle. The hammer clicks back. Eversole never hears the shot. The bullet punches through his chest. He staggers, blood pooling beneath his boots. His wife, Susie, screams. Chaos erupts. French vanishes into the morning mist. What happens next will leave over 40 people dead and transform a Kentucky town into a war zone. To understand how Kentucky became a killing ground, you need to understand the place itself. The 1880s. Eastern Kentucky is a different country. The Cumberland Mountains isolate communities. There are no paved roads. No real law enforcement outside the county seat. Coal has just been discovered. Black gold buried in these ancient hills. And whoever controls the land controls the future. This is a world where disputes are settled with fists, knives, and bullets. Men carry guns the way they carry pocket watches. Into this world come two men whose ambitions will collide. Joseph Craig Eversole is born in 1851 in Perry County. He grows up poor, teaches himself law, and opens a practice in Hazard. He buys land, timber rights, coal leases. He opens the Eversole Hotel and marries Susie Combs, cementing his place in the power structure. By the 1880s, Joseph Eversole is the kingpin. He controls politics, business, and the county court. His brothers form a loyal inner circle. The Eversoles are a dynasty. But dynasties create enemies. Benjamin Fulton French arrives in the early 1880s. Like Eversole, he's a lawyer. Like Eversole, he's ambitious. Unlike Eversole, he's an outsider. French is educated, polished. He believes the law should be a scalpel, not a hammer. He sees the Eversoles controlling everything, and he despises it. French sets up his own practice, taking cases against Eversole interests. Every courtroom battle builds resentment. Both men are proud. Both convinced they're fighting for justice. Then the spark hits the powder keg. Contrary to popular myth, this feud isn't about a stolen horse. It's about money. Coal is transforming Kentucky. Mineral rights mean fortunes. Land deeds mean legacy. The Eversoles and Frenches clash over land titles, timber contracts, coal leases. Each side believes the other is stealing what's rightfully theirs. In 1887, the conflict escalates. French represents a client in a property dispute against the Eversoles. After a verdict won by Eversole, the two men exchange words outside the courthouse. Joe Eversole tells Benjamin French, "You'll regret the day you came to this county." French responds, "Not before you regret underestimating me." It's a line that will echo through a decade of bloodshed. The violence doesn't explode overnight. It seeps in slowly. In 1888, a man affiliated with the French faction is shot on a mountain trail. No arrest. In 1889, one of Joe Eversole's nephews is ambushed. He survives, but barely. This feud is different. These are calculated assassinations. Ambushes planned with military precision. Benjamin French doesn't pull triggers himself, not at first. He uses proxies, relatives, hired guns. He provides legal cover. Joe Eversole does the same. His brothers become enforcers. By the mid-1890s, the body count is climbing. The feud has metastasized, pulling in cousins, neighbors. Entire families choose sides. Hazard becomes a town divided. One of the most chilling aspects is the method of killing. Ambushes are the preferred tactic. In 1895, Hiram Eversole is murdered on a road outside Hazard. 3 men step out and fire 11 times. French is widely suspected. But there's no evidence. Joe Eversole attends his brother's funeral with a revolver on each hip. He doesn't weep. He just watches the crowd. The message is clear. Now we return to that morning. May 8, 1898. Joe Eversole steps onto his hotel porch just after sunrise. Benjamin French is concealed approximately 50 yards away. He raises his Winchester. Aims. Fires. The bullet strikes Joseph Eversole in the chest. He collapses. Susie Eversole rushes out, cradling her husband's head. He tries to speak. Can't. And then he's gone. Benjamin French flees on horseback. Word spreads, Joe Eversole is dead. And the real nightmare begins. What happens after the murder isn't justice. It's chaos. The Eversole family, led by French-Eversole, swears vengeance. Within weeks, 3 men linked to French are killed. French is in hiding. He moves constantly. But he isn't running scared. He's planning. From exile, he orchestrates continued attacks. Letters are sent. Money changes hands. It's warfare by both bullet and briefcase. Hazard becomes a ghost town. Families who can leave, do. Those who remain lock their doors. Schools close. Businesses shutter. One resident writes, "We live in fear each morning that the sun will rise on fresh graves." This is not a town anymore. It is a battlefield. The feud doesn't end with Joe Eversole's death. It intensifies. Between 1898 and 1910, at least 30 more people die. In 1900, French-Eversole survives an assassination attempt when a bomb is planted under his porch. In 1902, French's cousin is shot while leaving church. The state of Kentucky sends investigators. They describe Perry County as ungovernable. Both sides continue using the legal system as cover. When courts fail, guns speak. Benjamin French remains in hiding for years, a ghost haunting Perry County. In 1910, after more than a decade in hiding, Benjamin French believes the feud has cooled enough for him to return. He's wrong. In late 1910, French returns to Hazard under cover of darkness. On January 4, 1911, French is walking near the courthouse when he's confronted by Tom Campbell, a cousin of Joe Eversole. Words are exchanged. French reaches for his weapon. He's not fast enough. Campbell fires 3 shots. Benjamin French collapses on the same street where he killed Joe Eversole 13 years earlier. He dies within minutes. Tom Campbell is arrested, tried, and acquitted. The jury deliberates less than an hour. With French's death, the feud finally ends. Historians estimate that between 1887 and 1911, the feud claimed at least 40 lives. Some estimates go as high as 60. Families were destroyed. Fortunes were lost. An entire community was traumatized. Perry County's coal boom, which should have brought prosperity, instead brought blood. In 1920, a journalist wrote, "The scars of the feud are everywhere. In the faces of widows. In the silence of children who grew up without fathers." The French-Eversole feud wasn't about honor. It was about ego, power, and the refusal to back down. 2 brilliant men chose violence over compromise. Beneath the courtroom rhetoric was the belief that might makes right. It started with a land dispute. A court case. Harsh words. And from that spark, a wildfire. Violence is a virus. It spreads. It infects entire communities. Joe Eversole died on his porch, surrounded by the wealth and power he'd spent his life accumulating. It didn't save him. Benjamin French died in the street, hunted and haunted, his brilliance wasted on vengeance. It didn't save him either. The mountains of Kentucky are patient. They watched with ancient indifference. The blood soaked into the soil. The bodies returned to dust. And the coal that started it all? It's still there. Buried in those hills. Waiting.